What is up, guys? Today I am going to talk about the pre-release Brawliseum, which is going on at the Tavern Brawl in Hearthstone. Right now, you can open your packs early, as many of your the Great Dark Beyond expansion packs as possible, and you can play in a shortened brawl that only goes up to 6 wins. So I'm going to show you a bunch of decks that have gotten 6 wins. I've tried out most of them. So you know, if you're looking to invest some gold to get more packs and to, you know, just try out the new cards, this is the only way you can do it until the expansion goes live on Tuesday, on the 5th. That said, there are some things to be wary of, okay? Remember that this brawl costs, if I'm not mistaken, because I'm still using the arena passes, I believe it's 300 gold. So, and you only get 3 packs if you get like 4 wins. So, you know, keep that in mind. Like if you need to use your gold for packs, then do that first and just kind of hold off. But the brawl is fun, and you get to do it at least once for free. Also, you don't get access to all the standard cards. You can only use cards from this year. So it is really like shortened and abridged type of format, but it is very cool. We'll talk about some decks today. The first one, you know, just in case you don't have cards, but maybe you want to farm packs, playing Demon Hunter, just aggro pirate Demon Hunter, is a good way to kind of get there. You don't need any new cards, and the deck is very fast. So it punishes a lot of clever, slower ideas, and even a lot of the new ideas are still slow. Like even though they're good decks, like for instance, like the Ramp Druid, they're a little too slow. But yeah, this deck punishes that very well, and it's just typical Demon Hunter. You know, you got like the Pirate Priest package, Acupuncture, Brain Masseuse, you know, and you fill out missing spots with, you know, more aggressive cards like Chaos Strike. This is not a card you normally run, but you fit it in there. Umber Wing, you don't run this normally, but you fit it in there just because you just need cards. Pirate DH is in such a good place. Easy deck to play, cost no new cards. Go ahead and get your 6 wins or 5 wins or whatever. I currently right now am playing this, and I am 3-1. The good thing about this particular list is the games are so fast. This is just Pain Warlock with like I think only like 1 new card added to it, right? So Pain Warlock, the common Pain Warlock package, but we're losing the Imprisoned Horror, and we're trading that off for Infernal Stratagem, which I don't know if that's that much better. This list also runs Party Planner Volna and Grifta, the Trusted Vendor, and this is played by Pace. Pace is an incredible player, top legend player, very good Naga DH player. So if he says it's good, the deck is good. Most of my games are over by turn 4 or turn 5 with this deck. I do like it, pretty strong. Give that a run. Next up, we have Asteroid Shaman. I was playing a version that's slightly different from this, but I think I like this version better. Like just looking at it on paper, I think it's better. So one thing about Shaman, what it got access to is it got access to this asteroid mechanic. So there are a lot of like elementals, Ultraviolet Breaker, where's the 2-drop, Moonstorm, Mauler. These guys shuffle 3 asteroids into your deck, and when you draw them, you deal 2 damage randomly among minions, right? Enemy minions or enemies. So with stuff like Shutterwalk, you can shuffle a bunch of this into your deck and then, you know, just do a bunch of damage. So this is pretty cool. The version that I played didn't run Ceaseless Expanse, and it didn't run Sasquatch, and instead it ran Wish Upon a Star. But I think what is built here seems a little more reliable. Also, Meteor Storm is one of those cards that shuffles asteroids and deals, you know, is like a 5 damage AoE board wipe. So it is pretty strong, and this really goes all in on the battle cry factor. The cool thing about this deck is, you know, you're playing Ceaseless Expanse, which is, this card is going to be really good. This card, I don't want to say it's going to be like Ziliak's level of played, but there are going to be a lot of ways to fit this into decks and play it. It's very, very playable. But the cool thing about this deck is Malygos. So the idea is, you use Shutter Block, you shuffle a bunch of these elementals, you're fighting for the board, you played it Incendious at some point, you're looking to find a lethal, you play Valagos when your hand is almost empty, and you're drawing spells, and most of your spells will be all of these little meteors that you shuffled in your deck. It is pretty cool, pretty cheeky style of play. I don't think it's the strongest though, but TD here, he's 9-1, so it's worth looking into. Here, this is the first list that I was playing, and this was, at least on day one, this deck was really good. I don't know where it's now. I haven't seen a lot of people play it. I had great success with this. I won 6 wins for my first run with this deck, and I watched No Hands Gamer go something like 18-1, like 3 straight six win runs. And this is just a Rainbow Death Knight build with your top end being Soul Stealer and the Hands from Beyond. Actually, in a future run, I saw him drop 1 Corpse Explosion and add the Ceaseless Expanse, which just gave him 1 more board wipe. And this turned out really, really cool because you're basically playing you're playing Death Knight, and Death Knight, or at least Rainbow Death Knight, is very good at board control. So it fights for a lot of boards really, really well. But the cool thing about this list was, number one, the spaceship mechanic worked pretty well here. But this card, Airlock Breach, is a freaking nutty card. You gain 10 health and you get 2 5/5s as long as you have the corpses to spend here. So I think that's pretty interesting. I could definitely see when Standard comes around, a Rainbow deck running CNE, Climactic Necrotic Explosion, working well with some of these engines here. Other cards that were surprisingly better than I thought was the 8 Hands from Beyond. What this card does is when it comes into play, both players get rid of everything except our 8 most expensive cards. And I think that is really, really good, especially in a slower matchup or a value-oriented matchup, because you have excess value. And I think this deck is pretty good at managing that. I'm not sure how well it does now, but this did give me my first 6 wins, so it's definitely worth trying. This deck I was not playing this exact version. I was playing a slightly modified version of this deck, and I went 4 wins with this one. This is, I don't know what you call this, big druid, or I don't really even know what you call it, Taunt Druid. A couple of different things here. So you have the traditional ramp and spell damage package here, but then you add Arcanite Defense Crystal, Kill Jaden. I wasn't running Kill Jaden in mine, I was running Alonius, and then you have Star Grazer, and I have Ziliax in mine. This deck should probably also have Ziliax, but the idea is you get these taunts, you're getting a lot of armor back, and then you just replay them back with Hydration Station. Stargrazer is pretty wild because you play him and then you play an Innervate to activate Spell Burst, and you get +8 attack on the turn. It's pretty nutty. This deck was actually pretty good. I'm interested to see how this deck gets modified when the actual expansion comes out. But it's pretty cool, pretty fun to play. I like this version that's shown here better than the version that I was playing. But yeah, your mileage may vary. And lastly, we have good old Big Spell Mage. I did not play this deck, so I can't vouch for it. World 8 is a good player. I've seen him a lot of decks that he's played, and I see him play before. I consider him pretty skilled. He's very, very skilled. But yeah, this deck is Big Spell Mage, right? And it's kind of cool. In this deck, you get to run Supernova. He said that he only got to cast it twice, but out of 8 games, I think that's a pretty good rate. So if you like the Spell Mage style, this doesn't really have many new cards, just Space Pirate, Supernova, and that's pretty much it. So here's a nice version for you to try. Anyway, I will be doing a signature review as well as a card review in the coming days, so stay tuned for that. Let me know what decks you like. I'll have all deck codes in the description below.